Welcome back. As you saw in the thumbnail, we're here for another wheel build video. And I'm excited for this one. You guys have seen the Berd Spokes on the mountain bike, I hope. And if you haven't, I'll add it right here somewhere and you can go watch that build. That was the Berd Spokes 26-inch dirt jump wheel set that I built recently. Well, had a lot of requests and questions about if they're gonna do BMX ones. Here they are. They finally made it happen. The 20-inch version of the Berd Spokes. Yes, spokes, not shoelaces. We are gonna be lacing these Berd Spokes up to the brand new Onyx hook flange hub set. And if you saw the other video, I don't want to say it was difficult, but it's definitely not as easy as building a normal traditional wheel set where you just pop the spokes through, as you can imagine. Originally, without the hook flange hubs, you actually have to drill every hole and then sand them for any little burrs so you're not going to cut the spokes. And it's just a little more of a process to build the Berd Spokes on your traditional hub set. Well, that's why I came out with these. It's as simple as popping them right on. So we have the Onyx Hubs, Berd Spokes, and then of course we have a set of the Ikon carbon 20-inch rims. If you did not see that other video, I was super happy with them, how they were on my slow bike. As you may think, oh yeah, they're gonna be flexy, but the material these spokes are made out of are actually supposed to be stronger than steel spokes, and they're actually lighter than titanium spokes. There's no nipples. Guess I'm not building today. Okay, I gotta track down some nipples for these and we'll get back to it. All right, where did we leave off? Since we last spoke, I added a cast to my hand just to make this process a little more difficult. Now, if you're new here, you don't follow along to my channel already, I broke my hand about a month ago. We got 4 pins in the hand. They went in and fixed the break, and yeah, now we're healing. We're halfway to recovery though. Anyways, back to the wheel build. We got our spokes. We are gonna start with the front wheel first because it's a little easier. We have 179 millimeter spokes, and with it being the front on a BMX wheel, they're all the same size, so I don't have to worry about switching that up. We can just kind of focus on getting the wheels together since it's the first time building with a flange hub, and then we can do the back in a minute, which is 180 mil spokes and 176. So we can talk about that later. We are gonna do a 3-cross pattern. We have 36 spokes here. So we're gonna pull out 18 of them. 17, 18. I'm gonna set those to the side. With a traditional wheel build, if you see my other videos, we do half one side, flip it, do half, flip it again, do the other half, and so on. Well, with these Berd Spokes, we're gonna do all of them at one time. We're gonna start off at the valve hole for the tube. First spoke will go in there, and we always work away from the valve hole. If you don't work away from the valve hole, you're gonna have your spokes in there like that, right? Like, see, you got the hole. Here you got plenty of room to put your bike pump or whatever to air up your tires. There's nothing distracting you from the valve. But if you go in the wrong way, you might have your spokes crossing right in front of your valve, and it's going to make it hard. Sometimes you can't even fit a bike pump, so be very aware of that. That's a very common mistake when building wheels, is people don't work away from the valve hole. They might start at the valve hole but accidentally go the other direction, which will have that cross effect over your valve, and it's just going to make it harder in the future. So let's not make that mistake now. All right, super simple. Hook flange. We just take the spoke, hook it on the flange. But what we're gonna do here, you gotta take the other spoke and go through your first one like this, and then hook it on the flange. So we're doing a 3 cross, so that will be the first cross of my 3 cross build. Again, we are hooked. If you're looking at the flanges, we're gonna go on the right hook, which goes this direction, right? So the hub is turning, which pulls this. And I say that so you don't go on this one. We don't wanna go on the left one and then still start at the valve, right? Because now we're going the other direction. If we're looking down at the wheel, we're starting to the right of the valve, which means the hub needs to be turning counterclockwise, pulling that spoke away from that hole. Make sense? I have this cool Park Tools 3-way that the nipple goes on just like that. And with these deep carbon rims, we can fit it straight through the rim and not get the nipple lost down in the rim, which I've done so often with carbon rims. We're only gonna turn it on a couple threads because I wanna keep everything loose. And 2, I'll go through, once I get it all built, I'm actually gonna go through and put a little bit of oil on these spokes so they're nice and lubricated. So when I start really tightening the tension down, it's not just dry threads in the nipple on dry threads on the spoke. Next spoke, again, we're gonna go in between this one and then hook on the left side of the flange. So we got spoke number 1 right by the valve hole. Now spoke number 2, this is where it's gonna get a little tricky. Not tricky if we know what we're doing, right? But a little different than before, when normally we're going every 4th spoke. We just put in and keep going around. Well, on this one, we need to count from, we have our first spoke hole number 1 at the valve. Then we're gonna go 1, 2, 3, 10, 11, 12. 12 is gonna be spoke number 2. I really need a table with like a rod sticking here for the hub to go in the middle. That's what the Berd guys have. But they do things probably a little more professional than I do. They also have a video building up a set of Berd spokes with a flange hub, but it's for a 28 hole mountain bike hub. Obviously not a BMX one. See, no, we're not. We're gonna do that at all because that's not right. Okay, we made a mistake. We have to go from spoke number 1 at the valve, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 hole, okay? 10th hole. It's okay, we made mistakes. That's why I do these videos. You let me make the mistakes so you guys don't have to, all right? Now back to it. Second flange, we're working back 4 holes, leaving 3 holes empty between spoke number 1 and spoke number 5. All right. All right. That looks a little more proper. So we're gonna do the same step. We're gonna go to the next flange, working away from the valve hole. Same way. Bring one back and keep working away all the way around. So that whole side is done. Yes, I dropped a nipple in the rim. So you should have a spoke in every other hole because we're working on one side. So every other open hole will be the flange on the other side of the wheel. Also, when we do a 3 cross, traditionally we do over, over, under. You go over 2 spokes, and the last one you kind of put the spoke under the spoke that it's crossing. Anyway, if you build wheels, you know what I'm talking about. Well, this one, we just go over, over, over. And then the other side is under, under, under. So this side is done. We're gonna flip it over, and we're gonna repeat the same process on this side. Back to the valve. And so if you're trying to figure out what flange, again, we're starting at the valve, right? We're working away from the valve. So this hole being just to the left of this spoke, if we follow it up, and if you were to look straight down, you'll see the flanges are offset a bit. Well, the bottom one is a little further that way because this hole is a little further this way. So we're gonna hook this one to the one that's a little closer, bring it right down to the hole at the valve, and we have a perfect start. Same thing. We're gonna take our second spoke, go through, hook it on the flange, find our other corresponding spoke, and go 1 hole behind it. there we have it. Another start just like the other side. From here, we just repeat the exact same process from the other side. We're laced up. Everything's obviously loose. We're gonna start bringing them to tension. If you watched my last video on building Berd spokes, you bring them to tension, then we let them sit for like a day or so and let them really settle and stretch, and then we go through and tension them again. We're gonna repeat the exact same process with the back wheel and let them sit, and we'll get back to you in a couple days. All right, we're back at it. Front and rear is laced up, ready to go. They've both been sitting for about 3 days, still with pretty high tension. Again, we let them sit so the spokes can go through a little stretch process. We're gonna set the rear to the side. We're gonna go through and tighten these things up, but you guys don't need to watch that. We're gonna do the stuff that you really wanna see. Let's weigh them. Let's see what the difference is. Here, I have the exact same front wheel from my race bike. That's same Ikon carbon rim, same Onyx front 20 mil hub. Obviously not the hook flange, so that's gonna be a little different. I don't know the actual specs from the grams of this hub to the grams of this hub having the hook flange, or how much lighter it is, so we're gonna just kind of go off what we got. We're gonna say they're virtually the same, all right? Tie spokes in this wheel, obviously Berd spokes in this wheel. We're gonna weigh the wheel, and then I got a tie spoke, I got a spare Berd spoke, and we're gonna actually weigh those just cause it's fun to see what the difference is, all right? Again, Onyx 20 mil hubs, Ikon carbon 20-inch rims, no rim strip in there, tie spokes, Berd spokes. I was gonna do this for the back wheel because I think a lighter back wheel is just a little more important than the lighter front wheel. They're both important altogether, but if you need to pick one to save weight on, you want to save weight on the back, because that's where acceleration is really coming from on those first couple pedals. But I can't do it because I just realized this is the 3/8 axle rear hub, and the axle on my race bike, which is the same set tie spokes, same hub, same rims, but it's got the 20 mil axle. So I don't know what the difference is on there, so we're just gonna base it off the front wheel because we know they're pretty much exact. So front wheel, 561 grams. Front, now, same thing but with tie spokes. 590 grams. So, we just saved 30 grams with the Berd spokes on a full wheel set. How far that goes and what that means, I don't know. All right, now we have a tie spoke and a Berd spoke. Should we do a steel spoke as well, just for shits and giggles? Let's do it. Okay, grab the steel spoke. They're all the same lengths. First, start with the steel. First up, steel spoke, 4 grams. Second, tie spoke, 2 grams. So, ties are half the weight as the steel. And now, our Berd spoke. If that's 2 grams, well, it says 2 as well, but we obviously know it's lighter, but I don't know if the scale will show increments that much. Then we're just getting picky, right? If you're worried about this, then you just need to go take a dump before you get on the gate, you know? That's the only difference we're talking about then. Fluid ounces. Let's see what it says for fluid ounces, just because. 0.09 is a tie. 0.07. The Berd spoke is obviously lighter than the tie spoke. And on this channel, you hear me talk about 1%ers a lot, right? So, if this is only a hair lighter than this one, there's 36 of each one of these. So, those little 1% add up. All right, so there we have it. The numbers don't lie. I'm gonna go ahead and go on a limb and say, in my hands, I have the lightest BMX wheel on the market right now, which is the Onyx hook flange 20 mil hub with the 36 Berd spokes and the 36 hole Ikon rim. This might be, is this the first of its kind? We're not talking kids wheels, 1 1/8, 1 3/8. I know you can get those pretty light, but this is a full-on adult elite level riding wheel set right here. Lightest one ever. Prove me wrong. Actually, I want you to prove me wrong. Please do, because if it is, I want to know about it and we can talk about it on this channel. These things are cool, very cool. Oh, by the way, this wheel set was way easier to build than a traditional wheel set. Once you hook everything and start going, you just kind of get in a flow, and it's actually super easy. You don't have to cross anything. This was the one on my 26-inch bike was a little more difficult. There was quite a few steps to go into to prep your hub for it, but this one is so straightforward. This is by far the easiest wheel set I've ever built, which was really cool. But we're not gonna ride it in this video. Obviously, I still have a cast on my hand and I'm waiting on my new bike. It should be here in a few weeks. I get my cast off in a few weeks. So this video is gonna be what you saw. The next one is gonna be the testing of it though. That's where I really wanna find the stiffness of the spokes. That's why I'm not even gonna touch them. I'm just gonna let them sit. We're gonna put them on the bike because everybody's filometer might be a little different if you don't have the proper specs on the spokes. Don't even think you have to. My slalom bike works great and I just went off my filometer. So I'm gonna do the same on these. We'll get these laced up with my new bike and we'll start testing them and we'll see if I'm actually gonna take them on the racetrack. I'm not sold on it yet. I think it's an absolute awesome wheel set. Everything they say about it should work just fine. But at the level of riding we do, I wanna make sure it's absolutely perfect. So we're gonna test it. We're gonna put the numbers, again, numbers don't lie. So yeah, we're gonna put some stress to them and see what kind. Up and down, I don't think it's gonna be a problem. I don't think side to side is gonna be a problem. I'm more thinking about the torque out of the gate on those spokes, which again, they're supposed to be just as strong as any other spoke. And I've done gate starts on my slalom bike, haven't had a problem. But they've never been done, right? This is such a first of its kind. Not even about the spokes, the hook flange hubs as well. So anyways, we're gonna save that for another video. So stay tuned. I'm gonna do a follow-up video in a few weeks, testing these bad boys and actually see how much they can withstand, which I'm not really doubting it, but again, gotta test them before we take them out into a race environment. So hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for tuning in. Until next time. Peace. Also, if you're looking to build your own set, I have links in the description below. Scroll on down, check it out. See you next time.